Hey people, this is part 3 of Gabriel and the cat, and I'll put them all in this folder, the cat. It's probably going to take 4, and you probably want to watch these in order to get everything in context. You know, this is the 2 times that Gabriel's used in the Bible, here in this Luke 1:19 and 26. And it's a story, but there's a lot of information, just in the story reading forward without even knowing to sometimes read backwards. And it's from the doctor, Luke is the doctor. And it's to Hippocrates, Hippocrates of Kos. And they say that's the island, and Hippocrates, is the horse creates, or the horse rules, Crates. But I'm not so sure about that hippo being horse either. But if you look closer at this word they give, Hippocrates, it has the mark that says read backwards first. And it's actually a satire copy, Hippocrates. A satire copy of Hippocrates and it's not Kos, and it's not even cause, but it's cuckoos. Cuckoos are people who watch the stars, the cuckoos. And it's a satire copy of the Papa creates of the stars. So it means that it's Hippocrates, which is not, like I say, all the books, they mistake the name of the author for the title of the book. But you have to look into the epigraphy to understand what that book's about. That word on the top tells what the book is. And in Latin, when you sign a paper, you put your name first. It's not the Tor. That's your last name. Your first name is here. The cut of love to. Written in love to, nay, your middle name and your last name, sure. And all these ancient books were about nature. And this book of Hippocrates, no, it was making fun of somebody else's book, is what that says. It's a satire copy of Papa creates of the cuckoos, of the stars. He was the father of medicine. It's where the word apothecary come from. Apothecary. So say it. I was telling you that this means, to poke a finger at somebody else. Hypocrisies is to preach to do no wrong and do everything that you say that you don't, is a hypocrisy. And the T in there, the TH, makes it third person, where it's 2 people talking about somebody else's hypocrisies. And that's exactly what the title of that book says. And a po is away, and awake ride is. The TH could be the D, and awake ride is to Hippocrates. Riding the wake is riding somebody else's coattails. You're riding somebody else's work. Of haggle, of CFN. Argue of CFN. Of to ego, they midge. MGA, midge in rile. And to they ego, they little in rile. I was telling you in that first movie in the series, ga comes from the jaw, and it's where things that make you drop your jaw, and they don't have to be mega, from the great to make you drop your jaw. Sometimes you drop your jaw when you see a midget, a little one, and little in rile. To Hippocrates of Hagalaz is argue of CFN. Of to ego, they midge, they little in rile. Appear is the cause. Appear, O-P-A-R-E-S, appears the cause. And a lot of people were writing books on nature and how they thought what appears to be the cause. And in no peon, this isn't before, this is only before the second time you read it, when you read it backwards first. But this is in a peon, in after. And it appears the cause in after. It's appears the cause in after is evolution. And then to and what. To what he of. To how you got here before God. In a peon, in after, to what he of. So if you watch my second movie, on these cats, I was showing you that the us is the family, and the is what came out of that family line of the Lamontenses, is, Genesis, what came out of the family and what come out of. And it's in the end of this word, the is, the apocryphes, is what had come out of the cause. And so they kind of got that flipped around backwards, because the hypocrisies now are believing in the evolution, so they flip those words. In apocryphes of haggle, as seeth in of two ego, they little give rile. Appearseth cause in a peon, to what the of. And a fest all on Lola say. Lola is possibly the moon, but it's said to be the first title given to the Virgin Mary, and it's the title meaning Our Lady of Sorrows. But it's also a word used for an old Philippine woman, coming from Lolita or Dolores, meaning aches or pains or sorrows. And a fest all on Lola say, proceed to foresee to. The waggle is as they. To foresee to the waggle is the waggle is when a woman's 9 months pregnant, she waggles as they, to bring glad tidings. And that's what Gabriel always did, he brought the message of pregnancy. And so it's 2 different stories, just reading this one direction, you got 2 different stories on there. But to foresee to who haggle is they, the ones that argue, so it of two, this is you. So you read this a couple times forward like that, and then you come back and follow the reading directions and read it again, and it opens your mind up to new things. Then you go back and read it straight again, and you see new things in it. And so this totally turns the meaning around, and it proves the devil wrote the book. So this is a long chapter, but it's the doctor. Luke is the doctor, and he was sent out here to help Zechariah with the birth of John the Baptist. In 18 here, and said Zechariah to the angel, I'm an old man, and my vagina is advanced of me. She's older than me. And so after the checkup, and he asked her, how often do y'all have sex? And she says, was yet her, WS was YETHIR, was yet her cop a poke ride is. Was yet her cop a poke ride is. Poke ride, cop is to take. Is yet her cop a poke ride is. I ain't never been poke riding. And so this explains what angel means. As alleged, I ain't never been poke riding as alleged, she says. And gag, G-A-G, galos, gagalos. And that means to hold back the laughter. Gelos is the ancient god of laughter in Greece. The Gelos. And so when she says, well, I ain't never been no poke riding, she says, as alleged, and gag the laughter and hold back the laughter in. Hold back the jealousy in the piping, in the piping, in the noise making. And held back his laughter. Ought what, A-U-A-O-T-W-T-O. Ought what a.
Where you're just like, it's like a why I oughta, but it's no big deal. Why I oughta what? Why I oughta bludgeon you with a hammer, but she's not actually gonna do it. It's like how Ralph Cramden on The Honeymooners would always say, why I oughta. He was threatening to beat his wife.
And gag jealousy in the piping Ottawa I go. This is I go with the mark here. It's read OGE and go. And OG was pretty wide known to be the I. The I. Of Frisian Proto-West Germanic I. In Ottawa to I go. You know, what see go, what I should have let loose. The Jimmy Midge in Ryle. The time little Midge little in Ryle. Till I lost the urge to laugh so hard. You know, gags jealous. Why you little... So I'm sure somewhere this is written beginning with an E with the mark, so it reads as all the giggle as. And it's probably twisted many different ways and have different meanings. And then appears the cause. You know, appears if the cause. No if of in. You know, it appears that I know the cause of this. To know if of in a peon toa the ova. A peon to come out toa the ova. And so opie is a Greek word for Michael. You know, one who is like God Almighty. It's the same thing they'll say about Michael. And that usually means something like somebody who gets everything they want just by the word. A peon to toa the ova, to come out the ova, venal at sep, the pistol on. You know, venal means ready for sale. You know, like your veins, you know, they let the blood sail, venal, for sale. And so the peon will come out of the ova when it'll set the pistol on. To know if of a peon come out the ova, and venal at September, a pistol on, and Lola say, proceed, go ahead, move on to. Proceed to the yet is as allege gave. Yet is as allege gave. Allege, illage, where your word privilege come from. Privy, the private, and illage, to allow. To yet, and pursue to, per se, to the place of yet it is allege gave, until it's been alleged. So the peon to come out of the ova and to the pistol, and wait there until yet is illage gave, you know, till his permission is gave. The vagil is as stay there at the vagil until it's been given illage. Of the suitor to, you know, to the suitor, the one that suits you, to the man you accepted. So he had to go to explain to this woman that ain't never been on a poke ride in her life where babies come from. They was getting old and wasn't having no babies and couldn't figure it out. The people didn't know they had to have sex in order to create babies. And then you come back and read this again and you see that's, and a poke ride is of haggle as, you know, the fighting about didn't want to get poke rided. They pen, they write what to. The ego, the day gave rile. Appears the cause in a peon, to would the of, to a fessalon, to a virgin. Lola say, the painful, it's painful say. Foresee to the vagil is as they, so it oughta. So the artists used to go to school, art school, and learn the symbolism, so all the old art was drawn right. You see it here in this ancient women's liberation march, you know, where they're trying to show the women are all together, and it's a unique horn. You know, it's a brand new sound coming out of a unique horn. when they came to announce a new law, they would blow the horn to announce it. And this was a new type of a unique horn, and liberty on top. And they got Cupid tied and gagged. No more nookie till we get what we want. So according to Philostratus, or Love the Layers, the elder, AnGelos was believed to be in the retinue of Dionysius, alongside Comus, the god of festivity, Comus, come summer comes, come summer comes. So Dionysus, either way, the same letter be the Y and the U sometime in Greek, was the same as in the Hebrew. It means word. Gods are words. And so he was also known as Acrotophorus. But if you look at these names closer, they all have the mark. They all read different. This one reads backwards first. And so the giver of unmixed wine is sore of cater, cock, rate of, Phoros, Oros. He's the unmixed wine, or the pure blood. Sore of adder, cock, rate offer as. And the one who rules, was the Satan. The Satan muses, M-U-S-I-S, the muses, naughties. Satan from usism, Satan amuses them. And the goat shooter is as all of I go, bolos, volos. And that's the same place the word the devil come through. The devil is the volos, through volos. And that's another movie. I'm going to get into that. And you see where, the word agri comes from, is the sower, the one who plants, the sower who gag rivers. They gag up the rivers to flood their field. And this is where your word androgen comes from, androgynos. And the word is and Reginus, the queen, and the queen. And it's a son to garden and queen. So the garden is not what we call the garden today. We think of the woman having the garden. But, this is the garden, and this is Regina, the queen. You got queens and drones. And just so happens that this species of bee is the same word for the main god of Egypt, Apis, the bull Apis. Apis, the son of Hathor, primary deity. And word is, when the gods lived on earth, the bull wasn't born, it was created. And when the gods left, they left instructions to take care of Apis, take care of the bees. So I done got about 60 more tabs saved up. So I might get a movie in on what this Michael's all about and give us a better idea of what angels are before I get the last movie in this series.
Don't forget. I won't forget.
Alright, I'm going to cut this off here. Good day.